All right, y'all. What's going on? It is your boy Easy Bake Oven. What's up, y'all? So today it's a little different. All right. Now, yeah, I used to hear ads run through my stuff for other people. All right. This is probably the first real time the ad is for me. All right. So P.S.A. Prodigy Sport Advantage Stations has expanded far beyond just the podcast. It is now a writing service. All right. And at that, a ghostwriting service. So we do it anonymously and take care of your needs. All right. Homework assistant, product and profile descriptions, grant writing, resumes, cover letters, templates, books, ghostwriter book too. Anything you can think of, articles, all that good stuff. PSA the Ghostwriter Solution can do it. So go over to PSAthepodcast.com and you can see all the services there with all their descriptions. Okay, because I know I missed some. And also you can reach out to me at theprodigyperspective@gmail.com and we can take care of all of that for you too. Peace. What's going on, y'all? It's been a while. Well, I'll say this. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and break the fourth wall as I always do. So, although episodes have been dropping weekly, minus that 1 week of the Industry Plant series. Also, shout out to everybody who was a part of the Industry Plant series. That includes T Seals and Ron. We had my boy Jason Jackson. Then we had James Swanwick. Then we had Asante Holly. We had Jay Hill. We had Reginald A. Howard. We had me because I did a solo episode. We had Melody Murray. We had Courtney Elmer. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. I got to get this right, y'all. I can't just skip that. I got to get it right. Hold on. I'm finna look it up. Hope everybody's day is going good. Mine is. It's actually great. Let's see. Is somebody we missing? CEO Mikey and Jake Jensen. There we go. Got all my people. Shout out to y'all. And yeah, so although this episode is being recorded very, in the present day, all those episodes was recorded in bulk. And most of them was recorded actually in June. Like I said, I like to believe they were like now words. So when they was released, they was for this season, and it definitely was, especially with the whole Industry Plant thing. But again, big shout out to everybody who's been keeping up, listening. And this is the first episode post the mid-season series. And total, I think we're gonna have anywhere between 12 to 15 episodes left of season 7. I haven't fully decided. Originally I said 12. Now I'm thinking about extending it. I don't know yet. We'll just see where we go with that. But yeah, today's a good episode, and I'm excited about it because it's another solo episode, but it's one that's perfect for the season. We talking about being humble. We talking about pride. We talking about, how this correlates with young millennial men, mental health conscious millennial men. So first of all, let's just get into the meme for the week. Let's just do that before we get too far along, and then I'm sitting up here looking crazy, and then y'all looking even crazy because you don't know what's going on. It's just this, yeah. So let's get into this week's meme, which says, Scar from the Lion King died on Pride Rock. Let that sink in. Inspiration for this week comes from the quote, "No man, one man can have all this power." Kanye West said that. This also is inspired by a track I did. Was it track 4? Or not track 4? It was season 4, I believe. And it was season 4 for sure. Season 4, and it was a track on that album. I think that's when I did mixtapes. A mixtape. And it was called Meek Mill. And it was talking about being humble. And so we're talking about being humble again today, but we're talking about pride too. And of course, I'm correlating with a lot of present day events. The demise and demonetization of the Fresh and Fit podcast. I'm gonna give my take on that. It's a little older now, but I want to give my take on that. And the quote, "Pride comes before the fall." And also, I'm Rashad video about narcissism. The video about narcissism. I like some things he talked about, so we'll get into that too. All right. So first, because I am by myself, let's get into today's story time. And today's story time is called The Public Apology. All right. Kim was in her glow era. She was in a state where nothing could get her down or nothing could bother her. At least that's what she thought. She posted some pictures on social media at a big event, something she had been waiting so long to do, got the most likes and views she had ever gotten. But the picture got mixed reviews. It was one comment that really stood out the most, and this was by her so-called friend of hers. Her friend highlighted she didn't have any shoes on and how she should have shoes on in that area. Kim didn't like the comment and instantly took offense and went to tell her friend that she should wear some shoes on her picture, as it was a dig to call her ugly because her pictures was all of her face. The so-called friend then started to let offense get in, but then realized that she hurt Kim's feelings and decided to apologize, as she was the one that came to give her a comment about fixing something, but realized that her timing was off and that she only meant to help, but still apologized because she hurt her feelings. All right, quick little story. Let's get into the lessons. The lessons from this story is sometimes it's all about time and a place. And I think, again, she had the good, the so-called friend had the good energy, but it just wasn't the time or the place. And we saw what happened because of that. Another lesson from the story, we can see that we can't be quick to jump to a fence, and it's sometimes it's a time and a place for a lot of things, and that was again one of them. And I think that it's good that she didn't let pride get in, and because she offended somebody, so she said, well, let me fix this, and so that's what she did. She fixed it, so good for her. All right, y'all. Let's move into the next section, which is the happy hour. All right, so in this segment, I'm commenting some things that's going on, and I want to hear y'all's takes in the comments. So, first of all, we see the writer's strike is now over. Now, I don't know. I thought it was going to go a little longer, but it was going for 5 months. I feel like it was going for 5 years. And it's good because so many actors came out in, defense of the writer's strike and how they was on strike too. And these writers wasn't making no money. One I've seen like little videos on YouTube. One lady was like, 1 year she made 200K, another year she barely made 35K. So it can be a lot. Now, this is what I'm gonna say. One, it was prideful of these organizations and companies to feel like they can just replace people with AI, because AI is taking over. But if you really know what AI is, we've discussed several times this season, it still needs a human to work it. So it can be a great tool. Like I said before, it's like Batman, and AI is like the utility belt. So, it only can do so much on its own. It can get away with some stuff, but not no full TV shows. Nah. Because you need real life experience for that. And other stuff too. But what I will say is, I'm coming to trying to be proper, but what I will say is this. This is what I'm gonna say. People might not like it. We live in a world where you don't have to be just one thing. Growing up back in the day, mom and them, if you was a doctor, you was just a doctor. If you was a lawyer, you was just a lawyer. If you was a writer, you was just a writer. And in today's world, you can have so many different titles. We look at this show, one of them shows, them reality shows. What's the reality show with the doctors' wives and doctors? Like, them people are full-blown doctors and reality stars and owners and businesses. That wasn't happening 30 years ago. So what I'm going to say, I say that to say, with the writer's strike, and not saying that them people didn't deserve their money, not saying them people didn't deserve the strike and that they should have. But what I'm saying is, you need to have multiple things in place so that if something, God forbid, something happened to one job, you can't be like, that was all I had. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to bring that up a little later when I speak on some other stuff. Happy hour with something else. So NPCs and Pinky Doll. Yes, yes, yes. I think she's funny. I think I watched one of her lives one time, and I was just kind of interested to see how it would go. And it looked like she was about to explode when she was just kept like pop, 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 ice cream so good. Yeah, pop, pop, pop. Like, she looked like she was about to like explode. She was looking like a robot. Now, she making easy bands, easy money from doing this. But again, hopefully she has the mindset of, I'm gonna take it, use it for other stuff, do this for as long as I can, and then move on. I think a lot of people have a little pride when they get caught up and they finally get something to levy to break in one area, and then they get it to break and they like, okay, bet, I'm gonna just ride this out. And it's like, ride it out, but have something in place after. Something else I seen videos of different celebrities from Guap Dad and Ari Lennox. It was an older one, but I seen one with Santana. I seen and him and Carisha. I seen some other celebrities just on Instagram Live having good old fashioned roast battles. And I'm a fan of roast battles. I don't know if it's because I'm from St. Louis. I don't know if it's because I grew up the fat kid and had to defend themselves. I don't know what it is, but I'm a fan of a good roast battle. And I think that we need to get back to that. And I might set that up. We set that up to the point where we roasting back and forth. Nobody's getting offended. Nobody's getting upset. We just talking back and forth, and without somebody getting mad or talking about that's why your mama did, or that's why you lost your house or your car or your wife. Like, get back to those days. Can we do that? I really would like to do that. I really would. But maybe, just maybe, I'm asking for too much. All right, y'all. So let's move into the next segment for today because I'm by myself, and this is another one of my favorites. Questions that need addressing. So it's a few things I gotta ask y'all, and I really want to hear y'all's take on it. So the first one we talking about today, the first question: why is narcissist the word of the decade? Y'all take stuff and run with it. Y'all have always done that, and I feel like y'all gonna keep doing that. But I think it's the word of the decade. It's the definition. One way it was broken down is that they're gonna make it to where a narcissist is gonna make it to where you're always the bad guy. It's mainly a lack of accountability, and there's only one in a relationship that is growing. So, like, say if a narcissist in a relationship, they are the only one in a relationship, doing something. They're not about teamwork, and it's always your fault. And a lot of people, I don't know when this word became popular. It's 2023 now. So I'm thinking maybe like last year. It might have been 2021, but I know for sure last year and this year it's been on all the airwaves. I just think that this term, I don't want to say let it go because it might be insensitive. And I don't want to say we should stop saying it, but it's just like people use to describe. It's the first thing they say. Oh, you got my order wrong at McDonald's. You're a narcissist. Oh, you didn't call me back. You're a narcissist. Oh, you put your shoes on and sit in the chair and put your shoe on your lap to tie your shoe. You're a narcissist. Oh, you are left-handed. You're a narcissist. I feel like people just reaching for stuff at this point with it, and it's kind of getting old. Second question: why do people always want to be right? I think in reality, nobody ever wants to just be wrong, and they don't like being wrong because it is a stupid feeling, especially when you like adamant you right about something, and then you come to find out you was wrong. But I think that some people just don't want other people to be right either. So it's like, I can't be wrong. This person can't be right. It's just kind of stupid. I think it's a lot of pride there and a lot of just pride and pettiness. The two P's. The third question is, and I know you think I'm attacking women, but I'm not. But why do women want to be men? So I think that we're in an age where there's an attack on definitely men, but definitely women as well. And really, if you really break it down, there's an attack on relationships. That's why all these conversations keep going viral because people trying to say, "Oh, I'm gonna just be single and I don't need nobody," and all, and the whole stupid logic of men just are supposed to just be having sex with everybody, and we supposed to produce, and we just supposed to have a bunch of kids, which is the stupidest logic on the world in the world because you can produce all this, sperm and all that, and you can just have three girls pregnant at once, four girls pregnant at once. Okay, but you're going to be a deadbeat because you're not going to take care of all them kids. And kids are not just limited to just money. So, I send them money. I'm a good father. No, no. And there's a lot of people that think like that. And then I've heard somebody say, well, white people do it. First of all, as a black person, why are you trying to compare yourself to a white person? And two, that don't mean it was right. So now you have this theory, which is white supremacy, that anything that white people do is right. Yeah, that's a problem. But also these women too, they want to be men. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. I'm just need me and da. But then them same people say that they're hopeless romantics. So which one is it? And then you doing all that, and it's like, let's keep it 100. We need each other. This logic, we don't need nobody. Let's cut that out today. We need each other. Men need women. Women need men. Stop this logic. If they don't need each other, we do. Fourth question: Do you yourself have pride? In some instances, I believe we all do to an extent. I'm of course trying to, submit that and let God deal with that fully. But I think we all do to an extent. And I think there is some times that we should have pride. So we're gonna get into that as this episode goes along. And I look at this episode like a taking of that episode Meek Mill and ramping it up and amplifying it. And really, if I was lazy, I could take all those old episodes, since I have a target audience and a niche, take those old episodes and really just, configure them and fix some things. But I'm not that lazy, excuse me. So there's that. But I could. All right, so let's get into some definitions. The first one is pride. With negative connotation, pride refers to a foolishly and irrationally corrupt sense of one's personal value, status, or accomplishments. Narcissism, selfishness involving a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy, and a need for admiration as a characterizing personality type. And then I define humble as having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. And we need to be humble, and sometimes we don't need to be humble. So I'm going to kind of touch on that a little bit too. All right. So now let's move into what does this have to do with mental health? And I got a lot of notes I got to read. So let's get into it. All right. The first one. So strained relationships. Watch this. It says, according to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, narcissism, which often involves excessive pride, is linked to lower long-term relationship satisfaction. So the thing is, people will wait it out. People will be dead wrong and wait for you to talk to them. Stay away from them people who y'all never talk about the problem. Y'all just like jump back and act like it never happened. Like I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, any relationship I've ever had, friendship, where we just kind of waited out to see who gonna talk to who first, and then we not gonna admit to being wrong. I'm not accepting that. Like I said, everybody has their things they're not accepting. And me, that's where at this age, if you cannot admit you are wrong, some people are like, well, I mean, y'all been friends all this long. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be friends or have a relationship with anybody who cannot say that they was wrong. You don't have to be no full-blown hold my hand and hey baby boy, I'm so sorry. You ain't gotta do all that, but just say, yeah, I was wrong, my bad. That's it. That's it. You can't do that, then we ain't got nothing to talk about in my mind, because this is your character. And I'm not just being banking on an apology, but this is your character. And that's a character flaw. All right, the second one, missed opportunities for growth. A paper in the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making showed that overconfidence, which can stem from excessive pride, can lead to poor decision making because individuals believe they're less likely to be wrong. Stay away from people who are never wrong. People try to put that title on me, but that's not true. I will admit I was wrong. And I'm like, there are several instances where I did it. And there's some times where I probably can be know-it-allish, maybe. It's actually times I just don't say nothing because I don't even want that title. But a lot of times I don't be wrong about stuff that I speak on. Most cases I just be quiet if I don't know. But I just don't say nothing because I know people, oh, you think you're always right. But it's funny because I said this before, but most people that try to say I think I'm always right, they think they always right. That's like the Spider-Man meme. We pointing at each other. The third one is resistance to feedback. A study from organizational behavior and human decision processes found that overconfident professionals were less likely to seek advice from others. So, are you know anybody who instantly resists feedback? I can think of a lot of people where you try to give them some feedback and never land. It's just you throw it on them and don't stick. It just fall down. It just fall down. They can't take it. They can't take criticism. They can't take any feedback. But if you can't take feedback, you're not gonna prosper with nothing you're doing. The fourth one is decision-making blind spots. The Dunning-Kruger effect, that cognitive bias and psychological research indicates that individuals with low ability at tasks overestimate their ability, a form of overconfidence. This also leads to the next one, which is increased conflict. Research in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology suggested that narcissists tend to retaliate more aggressively to perceive slights, hinting at the conflict-prone nature of excessive pride. The next one is vulnerability to failure. Overconfidence can lead to unexpected setbacks. The Quarterly Journal of Economics discussed how overconfident CEOs make risky decisions. And I think that's interesting because when you really think about it, you're prone to failing Failing is a part of the process, but I think they fail more often and don't realize that why they're failing. But that's the prize to not realize the error in that. The seventh one is decreased empathy. The Journal of Personality in 2010 showcased that narcissism is negatively associated with empathy, suggesting that excessive pride can hinder one's ability to relate to others. Then is stress and mental health, is rejection of help, and then is reputation damage. So it says, in the realm of business and leadership, the Harvard Business Review discussed how narcissistic leaders can damage organizations, which can be predicted as a reputation damage on an individual level. I've had situations where I've stopped talking to people and they went out their way to like destroy my reputation because I refused to talk to them. And you might say, is this deeper than that? I mean, it might have been on their end, but on my end, I literally just stopped talking to them. I said it before, I've gotten nasty, vile, vicious text message DMs, or in some cases, when someone tried to destroy my podcast when we first started, and they tried to attack my brand, they tried to set it up, they tried to trash it. Which would you fail to realize is when you try to talk about somebody's brand, business, whatever, especially in these video mediums and these kind of things, these outlets, people are gonna go check it out. So now you're giving them you're indirectly giving them more clout and giving them more views because you're sending people their way, not realizing you was trying to make them look back. People gonna go listen for themselves. And then some people didn't get a secret fan because even if you cool with that person who was so quote unquote did wrong, you know, they might be like, well, they ain't did nothing to me, and they might be listening on the low. All right, y'all. So as I mentioned earlier, I said I wanted to speak on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and they aren't the first, and they're not going to be the last. So this information, I actually did research. It comes from distractify.com. It says at the helm of the podcast are Walter Weeks and Myron Gaines, who are best known for their outlandish beliefs about women. However, the host announced that their show has been demonetized. Now everybody's wondering, did Fresh and Fit get canceled? It says, we've helped a lot of you guys from completing suicide, from making really bad decisions. This is a quote from them on their actual episode. They did this. What I'm asking you guys is that, like, we've saved you guys' lives. We need you guys to save us. We need you guys to support us, they pleaded. Saving children is great, he said to fans, but saving you guys is better. All right. So in an instance, let's do glows and grows, right? So the glow is they have a good podcast. You know, they were consistent. They were making good money. I want to say they was pulling like 200K in a month from doing this podcast. They, you know, had a loyal audience. They claim that they help people, you know, who was going through suicide and low self-esteem and all these things, right? So that's the glow. That's the good part. Now let's talk about the grows. So first of all, this was your time to apologize. And y'all kind of made it like y'all getting us demonetized and we was helping you. Like we was doing y'all a favor. It's very prideful. It's very prideful. Like I said, it's kind of like a snarky, like we were helping you. We was doing y'all a favor. And now look at us. Now look at y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like what y'all gonna do now? But even then, if we take that back and compare it to the writer's strike, all your eggs shouldn't be in one basket. I'm not saying I don't know everything that they do. I've watched their podcast quite a few times. And like I said, I enjoy a lot of their comments. I believe all of their theories and logics, and I did kind of start to become women bashing a little bit. Don't know if they did it on purpose. I don't know if they leaned into something, seen it was working. One thing about me, I'll never lean into something I see is working, even if it goes against what I believe in. And maybe they believe that. I mean, I don't know. We do know some of these people don't fully believe the stuff that they be doing. They just doing it because it's getting them the views they want. They kind of lean into it. But what I was saying was, I believe that they feel as though somebody owes them something. And like I said, if they do have other avenues where, dang, that 200K gone, you know, and then I'm assuming they were split it down the middle, and that's 100K, unless they was getting 200K a piece, and you know that too. Either way, that's a big chunk of their money, probably their main money gone. Whereas, like I look at somebody like me, I will never have all my eggs in one basket in one. And in these two scenarios for y'all to see, this is why you need more than one thing, because then if you had more than one thing, of course, dang, that 200K, that 100K, whatever for them gonna hurt. But I still got all this other stuff too. So where now I'm trying to fill in the gaps. But 200K is a lot of money. Now, your girl Brittany Renner, she been going viral, and then she did the Danza Project, and she did all that stuff, and now she's on Basketball Wives, and I'm interested to see how if her narrative gonna change in the public eye from doing that show. But what I can say is her fresh and fit, and people may not want to hear this, but redemption is possible. She clowned on that podcast. They clowned on their podcast. But redemption is possible for anybody. Now, some people ain't gonna want to come out and apologize or say they did wrong or say that they overreacted. Some people just kind of, we talked about earlier, some people just kind of wait things out. And a lot of times that's what these people do. Brittany Renner, I don't think, has spoken publicly. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna look into it about the situation or her on the Danza Project and fresh and fit. But I do believe redemption is possible for everybody if they truly allow themselves to get redeemed and truly lean into redemption. But also I don't agree with doing like what's the word I'm looking for? People doing like, what's it called? They going on like apology tours just to save face, but they really don't mean it. So in that case, I'd rather you still just sit down and be like, I stand on what I said, I said what I said. All right, y'all, let's move into the next segment, which is I challenge that. So what am I challenging first? Watch this. This one I'm going to challenge first. Are there times when pride is a good thing? Absolutely. So being from a certain school, that's good to have pride in that. Being from a certain city, being a certain race, I love being Black. Achieving certain goals that you've been long time goals, sometimes even just short term goals, or even daily goals. Achieving being the same person in different spaces. I pride myself on being the same person wherever I go. I don't act one way with this group, another way with that. I'm the same person. There's a time and a place for maybe certain conversations, but I'm the same me. Not telling people certain things because of the spirits they may have on them. You don't know what monitoring spirits is in this person. So when a person just seems like they just ask you a bunch of questions, they may think they're doing it, just with no harm, and they might not be, but everybody needs to know everything you're doing. So keep that in mind, and it's okay to be prideful. Like let them make you don't. If they try to make you feel bad for being secretive, let them. Never working with friends or family. I pride myself on that. I don't work with friends or family. I just think it's best not to. I was raised that you shouldn't live with friends or family, shouldn't work with them. And there are, of course, some people who fit the mold and can kind of. There's always an exception to the rule, but that exception is not easy to beat. Okay, so let's go into some data. Self-esteem and self-worth. Pride, in the broader sense of self-respect and self-worth, is a critical component of mental health. Young millennial males who have high self-esteem and a strong sense of self-worth likely have better mental health outcomes. That's true. And that's from a person who went from having the lowest self-esteem to now having very high self-esteem. So it's very possible. The National Institute on Drug Abuse, NIDA, suggests that low self-esteem is a risk factor for drug use among teenagers, indicating those that with low self-esteem might turn to substance as a coping mechanism. I can see that, and I'm gonna do an episode soon about running from your problems, because a lot of people tend to do that, and yeah, that's just not. It only works for so long. The second one is broader cultural shifts. It says the millennial generation has seen a significant shift in the dialogue around mental health. I talked about that track 10 about how we use these social media platforms and these media outlets to discuss mental health, and it's become a popular topic now, and it's become something people are openly discussing. It says, as mental health awareness grows, it becomes less stigmatized, and young millennial males are more likely to seek help. Survey by the American Psychological Association in 2018 showed that millennials were more likely to talk about their mental health than previous generations. And like I said, I've discussed that on this platform before. Are there times now when you shouldn't be humble? Watch this. When a friend's car was stolen and her dad offered to buy her a car, I had a friend, shout out to her, and she talked about how she was like, well, I don't need to be doing this because, I need to be buying me a car. My car got stolen, but my daddy said he would buy me one. So I said, let your daddy buy you one. I don't offer to buy me nothing. I'ma always say yes. I remember one time when I was younger, My dad gave me $20. And he was like, go to White Castle and get some food. So I get some food and I spent maybe like $7, $8. He's talking about some, why you only get this? He said, somebody give you some money to spend, you spend most of it. So I did that with my mama maybe a few weeks later. She gave me $20. I spent about $20. She said, you don't have no change back? I said, no. And she looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm thinking what my daddy just said. So you see what I'm saying? So, but because if I offer to buy somebody something, I assume that they're going to run it up. So that's just me. Somebody offers to buy you food. That's the next one. Boom. There we go. Somebody reaches out and tells you they're going to give you some money. I'm going to take it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. Somebody's delayed on their bills and, they was like, well, even if my lights out, I'm going to pay you that money I owe you for their class. That's right. Yeah. You can sit in the dark because you got your lights on, but your class work not getting done. What you gonna do? Or your work for your business not getting done that you paid me to do. What you gonna do? Priorities. Like I said earlier, fresh and fit. If you find this, if you see this, y'all can definitely be redeemed. Once again, I believe in uplifting people. Of course, we got to speak on the negative, but I do believe they can be redeemed. I believe they can come back. Anything is possible. I think that it's all about how they go moving forward. And I'm sure that they're going to come back in some way. But I think that this is a lesson to people where if you're bashing people intentionally, or whether you just agree with what you're saying, there's a consequence for everything. So keep that in mind. All right, y'all, let's move into the next segment, which is the weekly sabbatical. Now let's talk about women again, because there's some things I got to say. As I stated, women want to be men. Women want to be the one who be like, I pay all the bills, I wear the pants. They want to dominate men. They want to, not all, but this generation is they pride themselves on that. They want to dominate men. There's that word pride again. They want to pride themselves on that. They want to be in charge. They want to be sexually liberated. Oh, I'm just doing what men do. You're a whore. Society's still gonna call you a whore. And you may say, well, men do it. Society has deemed that okay. So that's first. One, society says it's okay for men to do that. But two, they're both not right. In reality, if you look at the grand scheme of things, they both aren't right. It's just society's deemed one is okay. You know what I mean? So again, y'all got mad at Tyler Perry. So society say men should pay all the bills. So what if a man don't pay all the bills? Say, I don't want to pay all the bills. I want a woman to pay all the bills. You're gonna drag him and make him feel less than. So, but society says so. If we're gonna be on society's side when it comes to certain things, then you need to be on society's side when it comes to all things. And that's my take on that. And the thing is, everybody want to be sexy red till it's time to be sexy red. Y'all ski ye in and we're looking for the hoes all over here. But the thing with sexy red is she has said in her song, she a hoe. Y'all want to do what she doing and be like, I ain't no hoe. I'm just sexually liberated. Just call it what it is. It is what it is. Just say, yeah, I'm a hoe. Okay. Stop making excuses. I'm all for whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever you want to do. Own it. Good, bad, or indifferent. Just own it. Even if you was like, I was a hoe back then. I know some men would be like, if you was a hoe, you always gonna be a hoe. Mariah Lynn said she used to be a hoe in that song. I believe people, again, I believe in redemption. And I know everybody don't believe that, but there are some people who fake redemption too. And that's the thing. I am not anti-feminist. I'm not, no, let me rephrase that. I am anti-feminist. I am not anti-woman empowerment. There is a big difference. And I got some notes, so let's go into it. It says feminism, this is a socio-political and cultural movement and ideology that advocates for the rights of women on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men. Feminism seeks to challenge and address discrimination, bias, and systematic inequalities that women face. This movement is multifaceted and can be divided into different waves, all right? Each with its specific context, challenges, and goals. Now, that's that. And they want to challenge and change stuff almost. Now, women empowerment, this refers to the process by which women gain power and control over their lives and acquire the ability to make strategic choices. Empowerment often encompasses aspects like personal autonomy, financial independence, and increased participation in political and social spheres. There's nothing wrong with that. Feminism serves as a critique of the patriarchal structures and seeks to dismantle them to achieve gender equality. And then women empowerment, while it can implicitly critique societal norms by seeking to elevate women's positions, the primary focus is on positive growth, enabling women to take charge of their lives within existing structures. So at the end of the day, well, I don't care what you believe, God made men and women for different roles. Never gonna say women should just make sandwiches and lay down. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is feminism tries to change, like, I believe women can be in politics. I believe women can lead, but they're saying, but feminism wants them to like make the man lesser, and women's empowerment wants to raise women, but not make them lesser. Just raise them up and empower them that they can do, more things, which I believe. But I'm still women can't do everything men do, and men can't do everything women do, and it shouldn't be that way. Society's making that okay. It's not okay. And it'll never be okay. I don't care how many of your favorite pastors and motivational speakers come out speaking on it, how it's the new norm, because certain things should never be normalized. And I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. So now let's move into some other stuff. All right. So now you're probably wondering, we in a weekly sabbatical, what's some ways to stay humble and to fight pride in a sense? And of course, as always, I always got some tips for my people. So the first one is limit social media comparisons. Statistics say that according to a study published in a journal of abnormal psychology, there's a strong association between social media use and depressive symptoms. The constant comparison with others can lead to feelings of inadequacy. So the suggestion is limit your social media time. While online, focus on genuine connections rather than comparison. Celebrate others' achievements without feeling the need to one-up them. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to do because they compare themselves and they think they ain't doing enough. But you're doing just where you need to be. If anything, if they get to the point where you're comparing yourself too much, definitely take a break. I don't really compare myself too much. And if I catch myself, I catch myself in my mind when I do it, and I kind of like chill out. But everybody can't do that. Some people may need to truly just delete the apps. The second one is practice active listening. This is definitely a tip that comes up in a lot of episodes this season. So it's something that we really need to hear. Statistics, as mentioned in Harvard Business Review, good listeners are active, not passive. Active listeners tend to make the conversation partner feel supported and valued. So when someone is speaking, this is the action. Give them your full attention. Avoid interrupting or formulating your response while they're still talking. Ask open-ended questions to show genuine interest. But the more we go here, the more God can open our hearts to the world around us. Listen here, acts. When we listen, we are cleansed of incorrect perspective. So keep that in mind. All right. The next one is engage in service to others. A statistic from the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people engage in acts of kindness feel happier and more satisfied with their lives. From NateHoldridge.com, to serve others is humbling work. We decrease elevating their needs and desires above our own. But this is the path to greatness. Christ taught whoever would be great among you must be your servant. Find ways to serve others. Serving combats our problems with pride. When we serve, we are cleansed of self-centeredness. So volunteering your community, help a colleague, or simply hold the door for someone. These small acts shift the focus from self-centeredness to well-being of others. When I was at the gym the other day, older man, I held the door for him to walk in. He told me he said, your mother will be proud. He said, it's your good deed of the day. And that little did he know it was. I don't think I did anything else good that day. I think it was a bad day, but that was a good deed. So, pat myself on the back or my shoulder because I got a big back for that. All right. So the fourth one is embrace continual learning. A report from Pew Research Center revealed that 73% of adults consider themselves lifelong learners. Lifelong isn't just about formal education. So that's the main thing. Don't think you need to go keep getting degrees because for what? For what? Like, I'm not going to sit and say degrees don't matter, but what do you need all them degrees for? After a while, I'm against just getting degrees just because I don't see the point. I mean, you want to decorate your house with degrees, I guess, but Acknowledge that you don't need everything. Read, take courses, attend workshops, or simply learn from everyday experiences. Recognize that there's always more to learn and keeps one grounded. This is one that we talked about that people don't like to do, but they need to do. Seek feedback regularly. Statistics, according to Harvard Business Review, back there again, individuals who seek feedback and act on it are more effective, adaptable, and successful. Actively ask for feedback from peers, mentors, and colleagues. Constructive criticism helps you grow, and showing appreciation for feedback, whether positive or negative, demonstrates humility. I think that's the main thing. And again, people lack humility. They don't want to be humble. They don't want to ask for help. They don't want nobody to tell them they did nothing wrong. But how can you do it right? But my thing is, I always grew up hearing you rather hear it in the house than hear it in the streets. Because you hear it in the house, you can fix it now. You hear it while you on this low level before you get them big platforms. This is wrong. You should fix this. You should edit this. You should try this. Because when you get up there and them people who intentionally waking up, clicking the button just to say, who can I troll today? Who can I piss off today? You they target. You're going to shut down. You're going to lose it. It's not worth it. The last one, I think, is the best thing when it comes to pride. Repent and apologize. It says to turn from our error, admitting our wrong is the giving process, is life-giving. Repentance is not a negative word, isn't it? It is not a practice to be avoided. It's something that you should do. It's something we should welcome wholeheartedly, I believe. And yeah, like I said, pride is an interesting topic, and a lot of people are more prideful than they realize. But I'm a firm believer that anything can be accomplished, anything can be taken care of. And this episode was a good one, definitely very informative. There's a few jokes here and there, but it really was informative. And I think that we need to be a little more serious because pride is the devil for real. And like I said, I'll be telling the truth and I'll be laughing, but I'll be serious. But I'll be telling the truth, but I'll be serious and I'll be laughing. But it's saying, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the question of challenge for the week. And it's a simple one. It's not too difficult. I think y'all can do it. How do you plan to be more humble this week? All right, so keep that in mind and let me know what you plan. All right, y'all. So had to bust in and do it. Solo episode. It's okay. Long time coming. Haven't recorded an episode since mid-August, and it is late September when this is recorded. And I had some back stuff going on, so I wasn't able to do this. But look, I can sit here. It's a little tense and stuff right now, but it's better than it was because at one point I probably couldn't have sat here for more than longer than probably 5 minutes, and it's been over 40. So, all right, y'all, that is all. So tune in next week. P.S.A. signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And I love us for real.